good, the true, the beautiful, in everything we find. Aesthetic cloud, we strive to make a world that's kind and bright.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's 2 o'clock, November the 25th, in the fourth meeting of our 143rd year. I welcome you all. Please, as always, silence your cell phones, put them on airplane mode so that the recording will go appropriately. If you don't think you're getting emails, and you should be getting emails from all of us, please, again, check your spam folders or your junk folders, and get with me or Wanda Hartness, our corresponding secretary, so that if there's some issue in your email or your computer's not set up in the right way, let's help you out. There's a few people who haven't paid their dues. We have a list. We will be sending you a letter. Or please get your money to Tracy Rice right away. Thank you. We sent out the minutes for those of you who got your email. Are there any corrections and or additions? Then they stand approved. Thank you. We have a number of guests today, and I'd like to introduce them. Please stand as I call your name. Jennifer Sperry is a guest of Luann C. Emily Tom is a guest of Wita Keck and Susan Marsh, and her daughter is an aesthete. Chris Garby is a guest of Sandra Mangrum. It's her daughter. Nancy Griffin's two guests are Nancy Martins, her sister, and Nancy Shore, her niece. Christy Lund is Jennifer Reddick's guest. Christy's mother was an aesthete. And I had an add-on. Jana Knight is the guest of Joy Blacklock. I'm sorry. Is there anyone else that I didn't? Oh, yes.
Yeah, this is Alana Noon, and she's the guest of Catherine Fire.
Wonderful. Thank you. As you may remember, the December meeting, we only have one in December, and that is when we give the check to the museum, our donation to the museum. Stephen McAteer will be here to accept that, just so you all know. Christine Althoff is the chairman of Hostesses today, and she's going to come up and talk about her great decorations.
Thank you, Marcia. My committee and I, Luann C. and Susan Talley Brown, had some fun things to work with. Whiskey and honey are, an old-time remedy. If you haven't seen it yet, there is Donna ordered some Tupelo honey for us to all taste. It's back at the table back there. I also lobbied for a whiskey tasting, but no one would bite on that. So we just have some little things around the room representing, the bee is obviously the main pollinator of Tupelo honey trees. And, we do have some whiskey up there, but I'm sure Luann wants to take it home with her. So thank you.
Okay. I'm sure you all read the quote, which I just love. Civilization begins with distillation. It's wonderful. These sweet subjects put me in mind of the coming holiday, and my prescription or recetta for all of you is to relax and enjoy the seasons, family, friends, food, and that bring light and sweetness to our lives. So I wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. I have the honor of introducing our chair of the day, Ansha Briggs. Ansha has been a member since 1987. She's given 11 papers. She served as vice president, and she is now chairman of the day for the 8th time. Ansha's talents are in designing homes and jewelry. Currently, she's continuing to support the MacArthur Park, where we all are meeting, in improving the dog park and the firehouse hostel, working with architects and other volunteers who held a competition for a structure that would provide more shade for the dog park. There was a number of entries. 5 finalists were chosen from that. The public chose the one that they liked from those 5. It is a 30-foot Frisbee design that'll shade. The City Council is voting this evening to okay that, so we're all gonna think good thoughts. They also have a generous donor to cover most of that cost. It's a memorial, but she's always looking for other helping hands. Ansha, it's my opportunity to bring you up now.
Thank you. Well, William Faulkner was a heavy drinker, favored bourbon, and truly believed civilization begins with distillation. Our quote of the day. He once claimed all he needed to write was paper, food, tobacco, and whiskey. Our first presenter today is Sheffield Duke. Sheffield's paper is titled Whiskey a Go-Go. So asked what her preference was, whiskey or bourbon? Whiskey was her preference. Sheffield loves to be active, is constantly on the go-go, since sitting still is not one of her strengths. As personal trainer and group exercise instructor at Little Rock Athletic Club, I doubt there's much time to sit still. She was born in Little Rock, but attended college at William Woods. Married and taught 7th grade geography at Pulaski Heights until she decided to stay at home with her daughters. Then back to work as an activities coordinator, and then from there to UMS as a personal trainer for patients coming out of physical therapy. She enjoys spending time with her grandchildren and playing tennis, which is a way to be with her friends. She joined in 2016, and it must have felt like a family reunion with a grandmother or great-grandmother, grandmother, aunt, and cousin, all estates. She served as our fire inspector 2017 to 18, and we're all glad nothing happened here because she is currently spending time at home remodeling a condo damaged due to fire.
Whiskey River don't run dry. You're all I got, take care of me. Whiskey River, take my mind.
All righty. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Madam President, Madam Chairman, fellow estates, and guests. Whiskey a Go-Go. This paper isn't about Whiskey a Go-Go nightclub in West Hollywood, California, on Sunset Boulevard on the Sunset Strip. This paper is about Southern whiskey and bourbon in Tennessee and Kentucky. Whiskey has been a staple in the South since the 18th century when Scottish and Irish immigrants brought their distilling techniques to the New World. The region's fertile soil and mild climate and abundance of corn made it an ideal place for growing grains needed to produce whiskey. Over time, Southern whiskey developed its own distinct flavor profile, characterized by a rich, full-bodied taste with a hint of vanilla, oak, and caramel. Whiskey has played a significant role in Southern cultures for centuries, dating back to the early days of American colonization. Whiskey was not only a popular beverage, but also a form of currency and a way to barter for goods and services. Today, whiskey remains an integral part of Southern culture. Families pass down their favorite recipes with whiskey as an ingredient. Whiskey is served at social gatherings, weddings, holidays, and festivals, and probably in most of y'all's homes. Some of the largest festivals in the South include the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. The largest is Bourbon and Beyond in Louisville, Kentucky. Bourbon on the Banks and the Nashville Whiskey Festival are huge too. Battle of the Spirits and the New Orleans Bourbon Festival are new but are growing fast. Most of these festivals are held in September and October, fall. One smaller event in Tennessee is the Nashville Chocolate, Wine, and Whiskey Festival. Oh, just wait. Only 2 years old, but obviously growing. Festival goers enjoy boozy milkshakes, a multitude of decadent hand-rolled truffles, melted chocolate fondue, champagne, premium wines, and fine whiskeys. The slogan for this festival is, quote, "It's time to celebrate the good things in life." So, what is the difference between whiskey and bourbon? Because I did not know. I thought it was kind of the same thing. Well, it kind of is. But bourbon is a whiskey which originated in Kentucky and is made from at least 51% of corn mash and aged in a new charred oak barrel. Tennessee whiskey, on the other hand, is made in Tennessee and is filtered through sugar maple oak barrels before aging, giving it a smoother, more mellow flavor. Whiskey is made from a mixture of corn, rye, and barley. The filtering process is known as Lincoln County process. This is the process that sets whiskey as a different liquor from bourbon. Prohibition in Tennessee came early and stayed for a while, the state shutting down all of its distilleries and distillers in 1911. The family that ran the Jack Daniel's distillery moved it to St. Louis until it burned down, then moved to Alabama, where they started making whiskey again. Then, of course, returned to Tennessee when Prohibition ended. The white oak used for American whiskey barrels originated in the Ozark Mountains of Arkansas and Missouri from trees that are between 40 to 100 years old. Southerners that drink bourbon and whiskey have their favorite. The top-selling brands are Jack Daniel's and Jim Beam. Both are produced in Tennessee and Kentucky. They are produced in the rich limestone water of the area. That's kind of key. Blanton's, Booker's, and Elijah Craig are brands that are a little higher quality. They're aged longer in the oak barrel. What foods are popular to share with these liquors? You have probably heard of barbecue and bourbon and Tennessee whiskey and fried chicken. So, barbecue, fried chicken, biscuits, and gravy are said to pair well with both whiskey and bourbon. The mint julep, the old fashioned, and the whiskey sour are all probably familiar with people in this group. Of course, the mint julep is famous at the Kentucky Derby, made of bourbon, mint, and sugar. The old fashioned is made by muddling sugar with bitters and water and then adding the whiskey. A whiskey sour is made with whiskey, lemon juice, sugar, or simple sugar, and an option is to add egg whites. What famous people drink whiskey? You heard the Willie Nelson song, "Old Whiskey River." It was a top hit in 1978. Willie drank small batch whiskey. Small batch is a marketing term, not a legally defined category. Small batch whiskeys are blended from a few barrels to create a unique drink. They are produced in smaller quantities, not mass produced like Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, that all come out of the same barrel. So that's really the difference. Leonard Skinner enjoyed Hell House whiskey, and Frank Sinatra drank Jack Daniels. George Washington and Winston Churchill were also whiskey drinkers. Whiskey can be mixed in a soft drink, sweet tea, maybe worse, maybe on the rocks or straight. But any way you choose to drink, the rule is always to sip slowly. You won't believe this, but Southerners and Americans are not the largest consumers of whiskey. It's the Indians of India. They consume 1.5 billion liters of whiskey in a year. The amount of whiskey India consumes is more than half of the world's entire production. But Americans come in second. Yes. Followed by the French and then the Japanese. The South is a region rich with whiskey culture, and there's something for every palate and preference. Whether you prefer bourbon or whiskey, the South has one that's sure to please. The future of whiskey is bright. There is a growing demand for craft whiskey. You probably heard about craft beers. Well, craft whiskey now. Craft whiskeys are produced in a small batch with higher quality ingredients. They can be a little pricier, but to the whiskey drinker, it is worth the cost. It also provides more varieties for bars and restaurants to offer, so it can make that bar or restaurant a little bit more if they serve a craft whiskey. This summer, I saw a sticker in a bar, not in the South, but in Alaska. It read, quote, "Whiskey may not be the answer, but it's worth a shot." Thank you.
Yeah, I think we're all going to try whiskey now and bourbon maybe and see if we can tell the difference. Huh? Judy Trice joined in 2004 and has performed for us 25 times. So, paper givers, do not complain. Not even our life member, Rosalind Knudsen, who joined in 1985, has given that many papers. Judy is an accomplished singer, pianist, actress, and dancer, discovered already at age 3, and has not stopped performing since that day. I first met Judy when she was hosting the Judy Pryor Show on TV, another one of her talents, TV host. But she has always made time for theater, and many, if not all of you, have probably seen her on stage at local theaters in town. Judy will be teaching a theater course at LifeQuest this coming winter session. She will be reading You Can't Take It With You. Talent runs in the family's DNA. Her 3 grown-up children have inherited those genes, and Catherine Pryor, her daughter, singing today with her mother, joined in 2012. She transitioned of counsel at Wright, Lindsay and Jennings a few years ago to have more time to work in the arts. Over the past year, Catherine performed for 6 weeks in Pride and Prejudice at Baltimore Center Stage in Baltimore, Maryland, played the role of Mama Rose in Gypsy at Argenta Contemporary Theater, taught her summer theater camp, taught a theater class this fall, and right now is directing a student-written play as part of the Downtown Playmakers at Arkansas Repertory Theater. Talk about talent. Whiskey or bourbon? Both responded without a hesitation, bourbon. Judy and Catherine are presenting their own program.
Drink to me, honey, with thine eyes, and I will pledge my own. Drink to me, oh.
What in the world are you singing?
Well, Mother, I'm singing a song about drinking, you know, whiskey and bourbon and.
But why such a formal song like "Drink to Me Only" with them?
Well, Mother, this is a very serious group of women. I mean, the oldest women's club west of the Mississippi. I don't think they would appreciate a true drinking song. I mean, I seriously doubt, contrary to what Sheffield said, that alcohol has touched many of the lips of the women here.
It hasn't touched their lips? Have they found another way? You know, Catherine, you need to let me take over right now. I think I know a little bit more about this drinking than you do. Have a seat. Make it another old-fashioned, please. Make it another double old-fashioned, please. Make it for one who's due to join the disillusioned crew. Make it for one of love's new refugees. Once in a castle, I reigned supreme. And oh, what a castle built on a heavenly dream. And quick as a lightning flash, that castle began to crash. So make it another old-fashioned, please. You know, if one is good, two is better. Make it another old-fashioned, please. Make it another double old-fashioned, please. Make it for one who's due to join the disillusioned crew. Make it for one of love's new refugees. Once in a castle, I reigned supreme. And oh, what a castle built on a heavenly dream. Then quick as a lightning flash, that castle began to crash. So make it another old-fashioned, please. Leave out the cherry. Leave out the orange. Leave out the bitters.
Wait! What's left?
Then make it a straight ride.
That is Make It Another Old-Fashioned, Please, music and lyrics by Cole Porter. There she goes again. It's the sugar. She's got a sugar addiction. She thinks that if you drink the sugar, it won't mess with her girlish figure, like candy and cakes and ice cream, but she does have to drive home, right?
I drove here?
So I guess I must do my daughterly duty and try to shift her sugar appetite. Have you got a sweet tooth?
I do.
A hunger that you need to feed? Have you got a sweet tooth?
I do. I have everything you need. Don't give me that conscious nonsense. It's simply quid pro quo. 100 of your favorites. Sorry, but the answer's no. You know, I have to cut back on candy. I have to get ready for the holidays. But think about your sweet tooth. I do. I've had it since I was a child. You naughty little sweet tooth. It's true. The only thing that brings you joy. Don't look at your waistline. It's fine. Who needs to see their toes? So, have a box of chocolates. That's a lot of chocolate. No. But think about your sweet tooth. I do. I've had it since I was a child. You naughty little sweet tooth. It's true. The only thing that brings you joy. Don't look at your waistline. It's fine. Who needs to see their toes? So have a box of chocolates. That's a lot of chocolate. Yes. Break away, kick your heels up and spend the day buying a feather, a fig, or a bead. Buy yourself something you really don't need. Buy yourself some beautiful candy, too pretty to eat. Treat yourself to some dreams way upon the shelf. Buy something someone took years to produce, something you're sure will have no earthly use. Try a treat like beautiful candy, too pretty to eat. Stop living for reason. Time to start living for rhyme. I'm on a spree and I'm perfectly sure it's a good waste of my time. The sun today will be scrambled for my souffle. I don't know whether to float or to fly. First I'll find something I don't need to buy. Something sweet like a hat with a bell, a blue parakeet, whistles to blow as I dance down the street. Beautiful candy, too pretty to eat. Stop living for reason. Time to start living for rhyme. I'm on a spree and I'm perfectly sure it's a perfectly good waste of time. The sun today will be scrambled for my souffle. I don't know whether to float or to fly. First I'll find something I don't need to buy. Something sweet like a hat with a bell, a blue parakeet, whistles to blow as we dance down the street. Beautiful, 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 beautiful candy, too pretty to eat.
Those last two pieces that you heard Catherine sang, the first one, well, we sang together, was Sweet Tooth from Wonka, the Broadway show by Neil Hannon. And Beautiful Candy is from the Broadway show Carnival by Bob Merrill. I would like to introduce our accompanist at this time, Michael Spinks at the piano. Michael kind of came in at the last minute for us and saved us, so we had an accompanist that we lost, and Michael just jumped to the occasion, and we're so grateful. Thank you. He is a wonderful accompanist as well as an accomplished flute player. He plays principal flute with the Summerscape Festival Orchestra in Missouri. He teaches flute at Parkview Arts and Science Magnet School. He teaches private flute lessons to many, many competition winners, and he accompanies choirs, particularly middle school choirs, throughout the state. So he's in great demand, Michael Spinks. And our last song is from the Broadway show Grand Hotel, and well, it's just to celebrate our doing this together again. All right.
We'll take a glass together in celebration of our meeting, in celebration of our meeting at this bar.
Improbable.
Incredible!
Ah, yes, but here we are.
I'll drink to you.
No, I to you.
You drink to me. I'm sure we two.
I'm sure we two.
Could find no finer company.
Thank you, Catherine.
We'll take a glass together and we will lift it to the good life. And while we're lifting it, nip the nectar of the day. Sherry, Campari, Scotch whiskey,
Chartreuse.
a cognac,
An absinthe.
for a pay, for a warm moment in a world gone cold and crass. We'll take a glass together. I'll drink to you.
No, I to you.
You drink to me.
You to me.
I'm sure we two.
I'm sure we two.
Could find no finer company.
Thank you, Catherine.
We'll take a glass together and we will lift it to the good life. And while we're lifting it, nip the nectar of the day. Sherry,
Campari.
Scotch whiskey,
Chartreuse.
a cognac,
An absinthe.
frappe, for a warm moment in a world gone cold and crass. We'll take a glass.
I'll take your glass.
Give me my glass. We'll take a glass together, together.
Yes, such talent indeed. Donna McDonald was going to present our next program, but sadly received a phone call Sunday morning that Donna fell and broke her wrist and collarbone. So Tandy Cobb graciously volunteered to read her paper. I hope you all send her good thoughts, healing thoughts. Donna joined in 2021, and her first paper was on the potato. So she was so pleased to be assigned another botanically oriented paper, since she is a master gardener and has researched and planted many plants in her own garden that attract bees. She was born in New Albany, Mississippi, went to Mississippi College in Clinton, married and worked at the University of Mississippi Medical Center as coordinator of the kidney transplant program. She moved to St. Louis with her husband and then returned to Little Rock in 1982 with children when her husband was recruited by the radiology department at UMS. Donna's work and amazing volunteer history is way too extensive for me to even begin to mention. But all the different garden clubs around have all benefited immensely from her committee works and fundraising events over the years. Her own special interests are roses, peonies, and camellias. Add to that collecting mid-century modern furniture, reading and traveling with friends and family, which now includes grandchildren. Tandy was introduced as our chair last week, so we know more about her already. And and How Sweet It Is, the name of her paper, is also part of our introduction that you received when you came, the Tupelo honey that I hope you tasted. And if you didn't, please taste before you leave.
Well, Donna did some wonderful research and writing for this paper. And so it's my delight to get to read it to you. And Donna, I hope I do you proud. How Sweet It Is, the story of Tupelo honey. The first thing I'd like to do is clear up some misconceptions. Tupelo honey has no direct relationship to Tupelo, Mississippi, the home of the king of rock and roll. 5 species of trees in the genus Nyssa are called Tupelo. But the tree in northeast Mississippi, for which Elvis's hometown is named, is actually the black Tupelo gum, Nyssa sylvatica. Although known throughout the United States because of ongoing marketing campaigns originating in the late 19th century, Tupelo honey became considerably more famous with the appearance of Van Morrison's 1971 album, Tupelo Honey. There is no primary source evidence that Morrison ever visited the area of origin, but it is presumed that he used it as a metaphor to celebrate his wife with the words, "She's as sweet as Tupelo honey. She's an angel of the first degree." Tupelo honey evokes a deep South resonance. Its story, one of music, food, muddy rivers, sweetness, and family. Known locally as swamp honey because of its source, Tupelo honey originates in the southern cypress swamp in northern Florida and southern Georgia. This encompasses the Okefenokee Wildlife Reserve and the Apalachicola River Basin. This area is the habitat of the white Tupelo gum tree, Nyssa ojichi, a deciduous tree native to the area. The word Tupelo comes from the language of the Creek people, Ito Opilwa, meaning swamp tree. The tree has very specific environmental requirements for moist, low-lying areas, which must be frequently inundated with slowly moving water. The comparative scarcity of Tupelo honey stems in part from the short blooming season of the Nyssa ojichi trees, which flower from late March into early May. The blossoms appear as spiky green balls with tiny white flowers emerging from each spike. The pendant shape on a long stalk facilitates access by the bees. These delicate flower cultures are susceptible to weather conditions where wind or rain can easily knock the flowers off and limit the potential honey crop. The scarcity of Tupelo honey is also a function of the relative difficulty of locating beehives in the swamps near the white Tupelo gum trees. These are frequently placed on platforms or stilts, accessible only by boats. The nectar from these trees that the bees collect results in the highly prized characteristics of Tupelo honey. The brief and delicate flowering requires careful timing for beekeepers to place hives nearby to maximize nectar collection and to minimize contamination with pollen from other sources. Hives are emptied prior to the blooming season to assure purity. Honeybees work within an approximately 2-mile range, gathering nectar from the short-lived blossoms. To make 1 pound of honey, bees collectively visit about 2 million flowers and fly approximately 55,000 miles in total, surely not one bee. Annual output is small, roughly a few 100,000 pounds, compared with millions of pounds of clover and orange blossom, which we're more familiar with. Genuine Tupelo honey is certified primarily through pollen analysis to verify the percentage of Nissa ojichi pollen in the sample. In Florida, the Department of Agriculture conducts microscopic pollen counts to certify the honey as genuine Tupelo based on the pollen content. To qualify as pure Tupelo, the honey must contain at least 90% Tupelo nectar. Recognized as the oldest continuous Tupelo honey producer in the Apalachicola River swamp area, the Lanier family has been harvesting pure Tupelo honey since 1898. Their 5-generation legacy encompasses the entire domestic history and challenges of Tupelo honey production. You know about that, Joy. You can find them online and buy their honey. It's very good. Commercial Tupelo honey production began with the introduction of movable frame beekeeping to the region. Benjamin T. Lanier began the business in the late 1800s and handed it down to his son, Laverne, who had apprenticed as a beekeeper. Laverne recognized that the predominance of the white Tupelo gum trees unique to the area meant that the swamps around Weewahitchka, Florida, could produce a variety of honey which was in commercial production nowhere else in the world. L.L. Lanier Jr. apprenticed with his father and assumed the leadership of the company in the 1940s. There was an article written about the family in the September 1949 issue of the Saturday Evening Post, and pieces from it appeared in Southern Living a few years back, and you might be able to find those. Early in the 20th century, the Lanier family established beekeeping on platforms raised above the swamp waters. The company had benefited from the 1906 Pure Food Law, which bolstered confidence in the product's purity and quality. To the present day, now this is amazing to me, the Laniers do everything the old-fashioned way, by hand. No machines touch their honey. They allow no heat in the process and strain the honey through cheesecloth. This sounds like something you and I would do for one bottle of something, doesn't it? They employ this exceptional care to preserve the unique floral taste. A 1997 American drama film starring Peter Fonda, which some of you all may remember, called Yuli's Gold. Gold was the honey. While not a true story about one specific individual, reflected authentic experiences and the regional culture of Florida beekeeping. The Lanier family served as consultants for this film. Current challenges include overcrowding by migratory beekeepers and environmental threats. Pests and diseases are major concerns in Tupelo honey production. Beekeepers are vigilant for signs of diseases which can decimate bee populations, and we've all read about the collapse of the bee hives. Pests like small hive beetles or wax moths can also compromise the integrity of the hives. Tupelo honey production faces additional challenges. The Tupelo swamps, as you can imagine, depend on seasonal flooding from the Apalachicola River, which in turn depends on rainfall hundreds of miles north. Dams and water management upstream can reduce those floods, stressing the trees. Conservation efforts now focus on protecting Tupelo stands and maintaining the river's natural flow. Economic sustainability, therefore, hinges on environmental policy. Conservation organizations such as the Apalachicola River Keeper and state forestry agencies advocate for maintaining natural flow regimes, replanting Tupelo stands, and supporting small-scale apiaries that practice environmentally responsible management. In spite of these challenges, the Laniers sustain their legacy as Florida's first and finest Tupelo honey producers to the present day. As consumers become increasingly discerning about the food they consume, there is a growing interest in artisanal, you know what I'm aiming for, good, foods and premium products that offer unique flavor profiles and exceptional quality. Specialty foods such as Tupelo honey are experiencing a surge in popularity. In 2019, an article in the New York Times declared Tupelo honey to be the most expensive honey in America. After all, it is, sent through cheesecloth and not used by harvested with machines. Tupelo honey provides a model for understanding how natural products can embody both ecological complexity and cultural meaning. Preserving the swamps that nurture Nissa Ogeechee is not merely an act of environmental conservation. It is the preservation of a unique intersection of biology, chemistry, and human enterprise. Tupelo honey reminds us that sweetness can come only through balance. It's a small miracle in a jar. Born in swamps that look inhospitable, gathered by creatures that weigh less than a paperclip, and preserved by people whose livelihood is dependent on timing, care, and respect. So the next time you see a jar labeled pure Tupelo honey, as you leave, take a moment before you taste it. You're holding the essence of a living Southern landscape. Thank you.
Presenters, you have delighted us again. Another wonderful afternoon. And please, thank you, Mary Cantwell. She brought the honey that Donna really wanted all of you to try. No further business. We are adjourned.